All right, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, historic Mount Zion family and friends. It's Mother's Day, and the theme of this Mother's Day is Miracle Mothers. The verse that comes to mind from the Bible is from Proverbs 31:25 through 28, where it says, "Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness." This is important scripture to me because of the strength and laughing at the time to come. And what I found out with being a mother is that you're always a mother, no matter what age the children are. Even though my children are adults, I still play a major role in their lives. And it's not always easy. Sometimes you laugh when you feel like crying. Sometimes they tell you things that you're like, oh my gosh, why did they tell me that? I didn't want to hear it. But listen anyway, years of and a facial expression of, okay, tell me more, even though you may be dying inside. So mothers are so important, and most people know that my mother isn't here. My biological mother, she passed away when I was only 2, but I've had so many people to be a mother in my life and to play that role. I've been really blessed to have um, that experience with other women in my life that are mothers. Um, so I wanted to share something today that's very special that happened to me today. I've been on I don't want to say a hunt, but I've been just trying to figure out pieces learn different parts of my mother because I don't remember her. So I received a birthday card in the mail for my birthday last month from a woman that was the best friend of my mom. And I finally called her today to thank her for the birthday card. And she said, "Oh my gosh, you remind me, your voice sounds so much like your mother." And that was almost brought me to tears because usually I don't like to hear voice, my own voice speak, but I always wonder what my biological voice sound like. So to hear her say that was really inspirational to me, and it wasn't tears of sadness; it was tears of joy because I felt like that was something special that I hold that's a part of her. So to even have to sound like her was amazing for me. So my whole role as a mother is to be more loving, more kind, more patient, more gentle, and to just be non-judgmental. And not only that, but to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. And it's very important to me to be here for my kids, no matter what capacity they may be in, because we all go through so many things. Children do too, even when they're adults, they rely on mom. And at the end of the day, and I'm going to be honest, sometimes the children get on my nerves, but at the end of the day, I really enjoy being a mother, and I am so happy and blessed. And I thank God every day that I'm still here to play that role in their lives. And my testimony and my testament today is that God is a very important part of my life. Prayer is a very important part of my life. And I cannot get through any moment of any day without prayer and constant prayer and just focusing and worshiping God, because that's what keeps me going as a parent. Because you're going to have highs and lows, you're going to have tears, you're going to have laughter, there's going to be so many things to happen. But the point of it is to remember where your strength comes from. And I was reading something from my book yesterday about waiting, and it was called the chapter that I'm on is called Holy Darkness, and that's that transformation that we are going through. Even though we feel like God is not with us, He is always with us, and He gives us just enough grace to get through, grace and mercy to get through each day. So being a parent, that's where I am, just getting enough grace and mercy to get through next day. And so I just wanted to say happy Mother's Day to my mom. I'm going to say her name, Gloria Harris, and also my grandmother, Elizabeth Harris. Both of them are deceased, but I wanted to say their names and say happy Mother's Day to them. And also happy Mother's Day to my daughter, Nelson, who's a wonderful mother, a single mother of 3 beautiful girls. And then I would like to end with a quote that I've seen that resonates with me. Okay. And it says, "You'll have good days, bad days, overwhelming days, too tired days, I am awesome days, I can't go on days, and every day you still show up." And that's what I feel like we do as miracle moms. Every day, in spite of it all, we still show up. Amen. Thank God. Amen. To God be glory. Amen.
Sister Young.
Okay. Good morning, historic Mount Zion and family. Today's text, Miracle Mothers. And my subtopic is, I love my mother. My mother was a true role model. She loved us, cared for us, and inspired us to do good, as many other mothers do the same. Most mothers motivate their children to do good. My mother taught us to respect ourselves as well as others. She taught us how to make good choices, good life choices. There is nothing sweeter than a mother's love. If we can think back to a time of our lives in which our mother did something so special for us, that was something that you just can't forget. That we would never, ever forget. And I just get choked up when I think of this. I remember when I was in college, my mother signed over, and this is a true story, her entire check that she had received that Friday for me to pay my tuition. I said to her, "Mama, are you sure you want to do this?" And I said, because I felt bad taking her money, because my dad had passed away at 47, retired government, and passed away. Wow. I'm like, "Mama, do you really want to give me this?" She said, "Olivia, I know you're going to make me proud. And so are your other brothers and sisters as well. So Olivia," and she said, "Honey, I'm doing the right thing." I think about how protective our mothers are of their children, and to try to keep them with the utmost happiness in every way. I can remember my mother getting up and getting us up for school. She would get up and make sure that we were properly dressed. She would put our things out that night for the next day to make sure it was right. And I'm doing the same thing now on Saturday. I'm putting out everything for me to wear to church the next day. Good habits rub off. And she made sure that we had breakfast that morning before we went to school. My mother helped us with our homework each and every afternoon before we went outside to play. And after we had dinner, she made sure we packed everything in our book bag before we went to sleep. This is what God said about mother's love. And this is coming from 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. Verses 4. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love not envy. It's not boast. It is not proud. Verses 5. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps on us from doing wrong. Verse 6. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoice with the truth. Verse 7. It always protects, always trusts, always hope, always preserve. On May 12, 2018, my mother was called to go home with the Lord the day before Mother's Day. I had gone out and shopped and got her the baddest hat and outfit, but the Lord had different plans. He let her that Saturday just sleep away, and she lived with me. But God is still good all the time. He would never put nothing on you that you can't bear. And I have a picture right here, if you can see it, of my mother, Vanestine Wade Small. She went home to be with the Lord. And on this Wednesday, it will be 2 years that my mother just slipped away. And if those of you that knew my mama went to church, I had my mama dressed from her head to her toe. And I love my mother. Again, happy Mother's Day. I love you, and God bless.
Good morning, Historic Mount Zion family and friends. And I know most of you know me, but I am Pamela Prier, and I'm a product of what I call a miracle mom, and that is Merling Homes, straight out of Alachua, Florida. I am blessed to have my mom still with us, 86 years strong, and I believe that my mom exemplifies the 10 virtues of a virtuous woman. When we think about why we love our moms so, you wonder, is that even a question? It should be no, because the real question is, what is there not to love about our moms? The list should be empty, because if it wasn't for our moms, we wouldn't be here, none of us. They were handpicked by God to be the vessels that brought us to life, and it's truly amazing when you stop and think about it. And for all of us who are mothers, we think about that and we know what we went through to bring life to our children. And I often remember when some of the sisters would say, "Baby, I brought you into this world and I can take you out of this world," and we would laugh. But as I became a parent, a mother, and others have become mothers, you now can identify with that, because they sometimes will try your nerves. They labor long and hard, and to be this miracle mother, you really have to be a virtuous woman. And when you think about it, I think about my mom and the 10 virtues. I would say I'm a virtuous woman. I would say, first of all, she loves Jesus. Second, she respected my father until the day that he passed away. She taught us and she nurtured us as the 5 children growing up together. She cares for her body, and she prepared good old cooking. And today, when I cook things that my mom has cooked, and my biggest compliment comes when she says, "Can you tell me how to do that? That was so good." And I'm like, "Well, you taught me that way." My mom serves others with love and kindness. She spends money wisely, and she made sure that we had, even when when she may not have had. She wanted to make sure that we were always prepared. She worked willingly with her hands, whether it was in the church, whether it was on her job, whether it was in the home, in the community. And she continued to praise God, and she didn't grumble, and she still doesn't grumble about doing the good works. She is a good manager of the house, and she was a good manager of our home. Everyone loved to stop by Merlene's house. There was always a meal, and she always taught us, always prepare more, because you never know who's going to stop by. And we never had to worry about that. She completes her tasks. If she starts on something, she wants to get it done. And she has that inner beauty, and that only comes through her love for Christ. And so I think about those 10 virtues as I think about a virtuous woman, and I think about my mom. And I think that I try and emulate those virtues as much as possible. I probably won't ever do as well as she did, but I try my best to do that. I love my mom. I know that she loves all 5 of us and all of her many grands and great grands just as much as I love my 2 boys. So on this Mother's Day, May 2020, I just want to say I love my mom. I love the other mothers of the church, because many of you have acted as mothers to me, as well as my mother-in-law, who has gone on to glory, but she was that second mom there to me, and I appreciate and love all the examples that they both have set. So happy Mother's Day. Enjoy your day and continue to be blessed in Jesus Christ.